Hi guys, how is everyone doing? I hope that you all are having an amazing day, and welcome to I believe it's the 9th episode of Editor's Note. I have not been on here in a long time because COVID-19 hit, and I usually record this in a studio at the co-working space that I work out of, but I've been home since March. But I thought today would be a good day to sit in my house at my desk and just do one, impromptu via my my iPhone. So today I want to talk to you about this amazing book that I just finished reading. It's titled The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Darry. It's Abby Darry's debut novel. I love this book. The protagonist, Adini, I carried that with me throughout the time I read the book and for many days after. I loved it. And I haven't met Abidari physically one-on-one in the same space, but we connected many years ago when she first released a very first book, and I forget the name. I'll put that in the notes. But she reached out to me when I had my old blog. She wanted to come on and do like a virtual book tour. And I was like, come on, let's do it. So I've been connected with her since then. And fast forward many years after, she released this, and it's such an amazing story. It's a very poignant story, but one that is inspiring and one that calls for every heel that you can think about, from child abuse to teen marriage to domestic violence to human trafficking to all kinds of things. And it just spoke to a lot of cultural heels that happen in my country, Nigeria, because that's where this book is based, and in many countries around the world. So Adine is a 14-year-old girl, grew up in Ikati. It's a village in West Africa. It's a village in Nigeria, in the western part of Nigeria. And she got married off after her mom died to an older man by what I call a good-for-nothing father. The man she got married off to at 14 was an older man with two wives that had a daughter the same age as Adine. And then tragedy struck. You can read the book to figure out what happened, and she got shipped up to Lagos as a maid. And there she encountered some more child abuse, some more just abuse upon abuse. But at the end of the day, Aduni is she's a hero. She's my hero. She has such a short, strong voice, and she rose from the ashes every single time. It wasn't easy, but I love the story that this book tells. But one thing that stood out to me, especially in this book, was how a culture phenomenon, if something culture back in Nigeria is where middle class family and even upper class families all have maids. And this story highlighted how in some of those families, those maids are not paid. They're really trafficked. Like my family had maid and we paid our maids. And not that I'm trying to say my family was great. We're a normal family. But it pointed out how some of these maids come into families and they're basically slaves. They're not paid, and they suffer. They don't get to eat. It's just terrible. And it just made me realize how I have also benefited from some cultural norms that should not be cultural norms, should be eradicated. And this book really spoke to that to me and just made me think about my own privilege and the things I've benefited from and the things that have led me to where I am today. But aside from that, I love reading the book. It called me out. I learned a lot from it. It calls me to do better. But it was a good book. I enjoyed every bits and corner and pieces of this book. So you should get this book. You should read it. You should read my review on my blog. And the one thing that I actually gave it a 4 out of 5. The one thing that stood out to me that I also didn't like was the fact that I kept forgetting that Aduni, the protagonist, spoke fluent Yoruba, which is a language that I speak. And I want to say it's because Abby, the author, wrote Adoni's voice, Adoni's broken English so powerfully and so impactfully that you forget that she actually has a first language that she speaks fluently. And it made me wonder why, if that's her first language, that's probably what she thinks in. So why isn't that language translated into perfect unbroken English? Why use unbroken English to communicate how she communicates? But I also thought that the way she used broken English was powerful. The analogies, the connections, it was amazing. The synonyms, the metaphors. Abby did a good job writing Adoni's voice, and I enjoyed every bits and pieces of it. So I wanted to share this with you. A Girl with a Louding Voice by Abby Darry. Go read it, go get it, support this Black woman author, and read the review on my blog and let me know what you think. And Abby Diary, when you're ready to turn this into a movie, we should talk. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.